Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video, and quite an interesting one here. So we have a new image from Netflix Avatar, as well as, very interestingly, finally, an official Avatar Studios website. So we're going to take a look at that once we get through the quick Netflix Avatar news. So like I said, it's just one image here. So we can see here we have Katara, Sokka and Aang in a forest. Battle, I guess, just about to happen. So the main thing here, because this is a very similar image to one we got last month, which was this image from some of the EW articles of, again, the same three characters standing in what I'm assuming to be the same forest. So this scene probably takes place very close to this scene. So the big thing here is more that I suppose we get a better look at some of the equipment here, like Katara's water pouch. You get a look at it here. Sokka's boomerang is relatively up close in this image, so you can see just how really accurate it is, which is kind of nice, some of the details on the water pouch. Otherwise, with Aang, probably just the idea of like, oh, he's in a fighting pose at least, so you get to see kind of what's going on there. That does seem quite airbendery, and I think the outfits do look a little bit better when there is at least that kind of, almost in a screenshot, that illusion of movement, that like they're about to do something, rather than just standing kind of stock still. But yeah, just, an update. This was just meant to be the sort of like end of year, like, hey, here's a screenshot, more to come. I think most of us are at the point now with Netflix Avatar where it's like, show us clips or show us that next trailer. Because we're getting close to release, we're in January here. We've only got a couple of weeks before we're into February, and then 3 weeks into February we will have the show. So we're not far away at all. It's just about sort of announcing and that big trailer where we hopefully get the big thing that we need here. It's like, okay, we've seen, I think, almost enough of just visuals of the main characters. Show us them moving around, doing their stuff, and saying dialogue. That's what we need. But we'll move into the Avatar Studios official website. So I'll actually take my camera off just so you can see this all kind of clearly. So there we go. So as you can see here, this is the sort of homepage. The website is avatarstudiosofficial.com. So that's what they've done here. To get around the fact that they can't really just call it avatar.com, so they've just gone with the name of the studio. It's not like avatarlegacy.com or any of these other kind of titles. They're going with the name of the studio as the website. So interesting enough thing here, this is a video in the background just going through screenshots from the backgrounds of the show. We're pretty familiar with all of them. Otherwise, you can see here we have some buttons along the edges to kind of go down. There's some social media buttons over to the other sides that are cut off a little bit. And then take a bending quiz is kind of the main thing they direct you to. As we go down, you can see there's Explore the Avatarverse. This is one of the sections, so it just links their YouTube, the Braving the Elements podcast. You can stream Avatar and Korra on Paramount. And they do have Avatar in concert here, which is at least somewhat decent. Then you scroll down, then there's Discover More, and they mention here, oh hey, you can also stream Korra. Here's the soundtrack release, where it basically links the all the links that Jeremy Zuckerman had to all the different places to stream and get the vinyl from. They do have Legacy of Yang Chen. It is just a link to Barnes and Nobles to buy the book, so that's that. Quest for Balance, of course, the most official recent game. And then they do have Avatar Legends here, which is just a link to the Magpie Games Avatar page. So that's basically it. Then there's a sign up for exclusive content and updates about Avatar. Now, very specifically, this is just signing you up for a general Paramount newsletter, but built into that is the sort of like already pre-checked box that you are particularly interested in Avatar. So you will get sent, I guess, emails when they actually have updates about Avatar. I've already done it, so I'm not going to do it there, but I would recommend, if you want to stay on top of things, that you do that. But in my videos, I will probably cover any news that comes out of that. you know, nice image here of the kind of the map of the world, and you get the sort of different kind of element symbols here as well. And then again, they link the quiz. And otherwise, on the bottom of the website is just, yeah, Avatar Studios, Paramount Plus, Nickelodeon. That is the combo here, all the basic stuff. So that's it. If we open up the menu here, it's basically the same. It's just linking the same stuff that we saw before. Bending quiz, explore, we'll go to that in a second, which is just this section. So you'll immediately note, I'll put my camera back on for this. So you'll immediately note the big missing thing here. What is Avatar Studios? If you don't know what Avatar Studios is, does this website ever explain what Avatar Studios is? Does this website ever once say there is new animated Avatar content coming out, a rough idea of when it is coming out, the nature of that content? No, it doesn't. The only thing that gives you any hint that there's more to come from Avatar is that there's a newsletter, which suggests that the franchise is active. Otherwise, you need to know and be familiar with all of this stuff. It isn't doing the stuff that I think I wanted a official Avatar website to do. That being to have a list of like the novels in order, to have a list of like the comics in order. Just do the basic stuff to get people interested and up to date on your content. And sure, they're at least alerting people to the fact that this stuff is out there. But then, you know, you'll notice they don't mention that there's Kyoshi novels here even. There's no information section here. There doesn't really seem to be a news section on this website. So that's the most sort of concerning thing of all. And sure, they can link their social medias all they want, but most people acknowledge the social medias aren't great, because if you subscribe to the YouTube, you're just getting bombarded in your subscription box with just, here's a new clip compilation, clip compilation, clip compilation. And then if you are a kind of hardcore fan, most of their other videos are not really going to do much for you. So they're not really doing the kind of basics well enough on the website, in my opinion. And so straight away, I would be like, that's failing marks. That is immediately 100% failing marks, that you failed to do the most obvious thing that you should be doing. Finally, Avatar Studios official website, and no explanation on what you're doing, even though some of that information is out there officially. I just find that crazy that there's no news or there's no upcoming Avatar section that mentions that, like, hey, there's a Roku novel coming out, that, hey, Bounty Hunter and the Tea Brewer, there's a Mako comic coming out. All this other stuff, like other merchandise and stuff like that, they don't have that yet. That's not good, in my opinion. So let's take a look at the bending quiz and just do this. So I've done it before. I don't think it's great, as you'll see here. So you just enter your name. We'll press start. There's some stock art here. Who's your favorite avatar? So you can immediately see it's which element basically are you type quiz. And you can immediately see what the idea here is. Aang, Roku, Korra, Kyoshi. Oh, what a coincidence. 4 elements, there are 4 different avatars to choose from. I get it, this one's fine. Like if you choose Aang, it's going to be like, oh, you're leaning towards air, fire for Roku, and so on. You know, fair enough. The problem is this is a little bit too probably like easy to manipulate. It's too basic of a quiz. I think with these things you have to have questions that aren't as bluntly obvious what the choices mean. But anyway, let's just do it kind of normally. If I choose Aang here, and then it's, again, we've seen this art before. Pick your ideal meal. Spicy dish, hearty banquet, seafood feast, vegetarian delight. And again, this is so obvious. Spicy dish, Fire Nation. Seafood feast, Water Tribe. Vegetarian delight is obviously going to be Air Nomad. And a hearty banquet, I guess, that leaves the Earth Kingdom. So I'll just go with this. So I've chosen 1 air and 1 earth. There, you can see. Choose an animal companion. Polar bear dog, badger mole, dragon, flying bison. Again, 1 from each nation. So if we just go with, what way will I do this? I guess if I go with something kind of different, I don't know. I'll just go with what I chose before. If I choose to say badger mole, And then to win a fight, what approach do you take? And again, it's the classic, like if anyone knows anything about Avatar, you know what the styles of combat are for each element. Evade, defend, and neutralize, that is airbending. Stand your ground, block attacks, use all your strength, that is earthbending. Heavy offense, keep moving, dodge while attacking, that is firebending. Counter-strike, use their force against them, is water tribe. So it's super, super obvious. So if I just go avoid, defend, and neutralize, and you'll note at this point I have basically two, I suppose, earth-leaning answers, two air-leaning answers. And then this is more of what I expected most of the questions to be like, of just, it's a little bit more general, and it's not maybe immediately obvious which way is which. Also, for a quiz that has like 4 things to do at the end, the fact that there's only 2 choices, that's actually kind of nice. Now, admittedly, I think it's again somewhat clear to see what the idea here is. How do you process your emotions? Openly and passionately, or calmly and introspectively. So my thoughts on this were that obviously fire is going to be in open and passionate. Yes. Calmly and introspectively, I'm guessing air for sure is in here. And then I'm guessing earth and water are split between these as well. Probably, I guess, water here, earth here, just based on the general idea of characters. And also, I think I've done this before, and I obviously go with this. And you see, I should get air, if I've done this correctly. Okay, so that's interesting. I actually did this quiz twice before with the same answers, and they gave me air. So I'm guessing I actually had equal points for air and earth. So I'm guessing that final one is actually probably fire and water, is the kind of passionate open, and then earth and air are the ones that are more introspective. That sort of makes sense, and then I guess they just give you a random one at that point. So yeah, solids and mountains, stability makes you an earthbender. The problem is, like, there's nothing different there in that. Like, there are versions of these where they actually, like, potentially sometimes reveal new lore about the franchise. There's nothing here. Like, it's a 2-sentence thing. There's not a lot to say about it. You do get a kind of shareable kind of thing here. As you can see here, where it puts your name on a little kind of card that you could share online. It's a little bit like, okay, I'm not going to do it just because it's such a basic quiz. Like, it's too obvious, it's too clear. You can go in whatever direction you want to get what you actually want. Not a fan of that. I think that needs to be a little bit more complicated so that there's actually, like, meaning to it. And for the official website, like, I do expect it to be a little bit better than, like, answer 3-4 questions and that's it. And the questions are the most basic to see through things imaginable. So I don't want to be too negative here, but it's like, I don't think the website is solving the problems the website should be solving. And the fact that, like, it doesn't mention anything about the upcoming Avatar Studios content is absolutely wild to me. Like, absolutely wild to me. I don't care that, like, it's a really long way away. If you're launching the website now, people know about this stuff. You want to build hype. That's why you've built this website. Get people hyped. Like, this could have been an opportunity to just straight away have, like, an About Us section or an upcoming section, and it have just some basic information about that first movie, just to have something going into the start of this year that just tells us what the situation is. And so straight away, it's like, does this website put my channel out of business in terms of covering the news? No, it's not even close. Like, there's nothing inherently new on this website, like, is there? And I think that's the big kind of problem here, is that, oh yeah, there really isn't anything new here. About the only thing you would say is new is just I suppose, the kind of clean Avatar Studios logo over the front of it. Otherwise, I think it's all stuff we've seen before. Potentially that newsletter could be something interesting, but otherwise, it's not what I wanted. And I've been advocating for, they should have a website for years. but it's obviously not at the level they need it to be. Now, I don't believe they've officially kind of pushed this out publicly, in that it was obviously other fans linking this to me, how I came across it. And I'm guessing someone just was typing in stuff and came across it. Because I'm not sure if this is linked specifically anywhere through any of the social medias or anything like that. So maybe there is a plan for maybe when they properly hype it up, like the website is here, maybe there will be more on it. But I do think there's quite a bit missing. Like, the fact that there's no news here is, I think, a little bit crazy. I guess maybe some of this stuff is kind of meant to be that, but I think they do need a proper, like, news, and that, like, it is a clear thing that, like, this little article or page was added on this day. It is the most recent thing on the website. They don't have it, and I think that's an issue. That is a major issue. And I will always compare this to the Dragon Prince website, where they actually have a very good website that I think for the most part does what it needs to do for that franchise, in terms of, like, acknowledging their other material, actually putting up, like, little kind of text, kind of narrative kind of things as well, and more. Always having the news and stuff like that, whereas this just feels a little bit too hands-off. So they're my thoughts on the debut here of the official Avatar Studios website. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts are. But yes, that has been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.